Welcome to All Vision Caribbean Latino Film Festival Vibrant Voices podcast. I'm your host, Charles Allen. Welcome to the podcast. We have two guests on, a filmmaker from Hungarian via Mexico and an actor from a short film. I guess the English version is called Free Trump, but you
I
guys
guess.
correct me. Hi guys, welcome to the show.
Hello?
Welcome to the show.
Hello.
So
Pleasure to be here.
you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
You want to start?
Yeah. So I'm Áron Kostyál. As you said, I come from Hungarian origins, but I grew up in Mexico. And this is my fourth short film, TRONCO, Tree Trunk in English. And yeah, we worked real hard on this film. It's a comedy sports short film. Written by my friend Rodrigo Galvan and directed by myself. And yeah, I'm here with my wonderful actor and close friend, Jorge Aragüez.
Hi, my name is Jorge Aragüez. I was born in Argentina many years ago, living in Mexico for the last 25 years. And as I'm not an actor as a profession, I mean, I'm not a professional actor. I make a couple of things as an extra in when I was young. And I have the opportunity to participate in this one. I think it was a very good opportunity, and I enjoy very much doing this. I know that it's not the typical age for a coach, but it was very good.
Okay, cool. Aaron, so do you want to tell us how you got the concept and what led you to making this film?
Yes, so the very original concept comes from Rodrigo Galvan. His brother came up with this story. I don't want to spoil it because I would spoil the whole thing right away. But basically, he came up with the seed of the story of this football player who really sucks at it, who's pathetic in the sport. And then Rodrigo wrote a 13-page screenplay, which was a very dramatic version. And this was in 2021. In 2023, we rewrote it because we realized a comedic approach was much better, and there were certain scenes I felt had to be there, and so we added those scenes. And yeah, the screenplay. I think one of the main reasons why the movie got made in the end, because it was difficult. It was very difficult, but one of the main reasons why is because I felt the story grow on me. I felt it very, very personal. Um, so yeah.
So you said it was very difficult. Do you want to share with my audience what kind of roadblocks that you encountered making the film?
Of course, and I'm really curious what Jorge is gonna say about this. Um, but well, everything from the casting to the shooting itself, post production. This was my first time making a short film that's over 10 minutes long, and this is 25 minutes long. Um, so to find these actors in a community where there really aren't any professional actors, it was tough in the beginning. um, and honestly, it made me it made me more religious because from a small group of people I found the actors that I think played these roles exceptionally well, in my opinion. And that was a big challenge, at the beginning, what to get the children who are playing these roles. We did castings in high schools where I would just pop up in the high school with permission from one of my friends, and then I would just be looking at well, I would be interviewing 15-year-old kids nonstop to see who fits this character who's really, really hard to play. And with time, we found Froilan, Kendra, Israel, all these people who ended up playing uh, important characters in the film. And with the coach, it's a very interesting story because originally we wanted a Mexican coach, and there wasn't too much of a comedic value of the coach in the original script. We wanted him to have a more serious role. So we interviewed a bunch of Mexican people who were either interested in sports or, they had a team even. And none of them fit quite right until Jorge, who he sent me a voice message. And I was like, this super funny voice message where he does this. Well, he's Argentinian, but I understand he's exaggerating the accent for comedic effect, and it worked beautifully.
So much, not so much.
Yeah, can I curse on this podcast?
You can.
Okay, so I was laughing my ass off when he sent me this voice message, and I was like, "Nah, this guy, it has to be it." I know Jorge because him and my mother, they work together. They're real estate agents. Um, so yeah, that was the first challenge, and then the shooting, and then the lack of organization from my end because it's the first time I took on such a big project. I didn't realize all the complexities. But I'm really curious to hear what Jorge's insight on this is.
Yeah, before you get there, I want to ask one question to Jorge himself.
Yeah.
How do you go from, you just said you're selling real estate to acting the short? Did you, did, did you always want to be an actor and you get sidetracked to selling real estate and this was a good opportunity for you to get back into acting?
No, it wasn't the idea it wasn't in my mind to participate in this one. Most of the countries in Latin America speak Spanish. I could say that except Brazil, all of them speak Spanish. But the accent is very different in all of them. And especially in Argentina, we have a very strong accent. So what I did when applied for this one, and I did approve in the office or in the studio, but using my Mexican accent because I have been living here for 25 years. And when I arrived home, I said, "Hey, who is one of the most important countries playing football? Is Argentina, and you are changing your accent to a Mexican accent. I mean, it's no way to do that." So in that moment, I recorded in my phone the same test, but speaking as an Argentinian coach, and I sent to Arona. That was, I think, that makes the difference. And it was a very, very nice experience. Very hard because you may know that in Puerto Vallarta, the temperature in the month that we were doing that one, it's around in Fahrenheit. I don't know, but I mean, it's like 39 Celsius.
Yeah.
So you can imagine it was, but I mean, it was a very, very nice experience to be with all the kids and to do this.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Now you got the role. How did you get into character for the role as a coach? What elements did you look for to get you into character?
You mean how was the character of what were we looking for? It's it should be he should be a strong personality, but on the other side, have to have something of comprehension, of trying to help the actor because even if he was trying to play, he was going through a lot of difficulties because he was not. I mean, it was not his goal to play football. So the trainer or the coach have to be a mixture between comprehensive and giving discipline to the rest. So sometimes we have to serve between the both part of the same person.
Did you find that you needed? Did you find that you need like a personality to draw off on? Like, for example, like when I try to get my actors into character, I might give them a live person that they can look at to sort of like move that character after, give that like, do you have like, I know you say you're from Argentina and Argentina love, soccer and stuff. Do you have a particular coach in like Argentinian team that you looked at and said, you know what, I can model the character after this person?
The funny things about this one is that if you ask me if I loved playing football or the football, no, I don't. Absolutely no. And the reason is because everybody plays football in Argentina, especially on Sunday afternoon. So when you're a kid, you know that they are playing football around you, but the day after you have to go to the school. So I hate the Sundays and the football because I know that the day after I have to go to school. So I was not very uh, fan for the football or for the sports itself. But then you have Maradona, you have Messi, you have many figures that you even if you don't like, you will have all of them in front of you all the time. About coaches, well, I grow up seeing on the TV some of them or a lot of them. In this particular case, I was trying to do the character by myself, but sometimes I was confused in for example, pronunciation. If I was doing the yo against yo or things like that one. So in those cases, I have to refer and to see someone doing the same person, the same characters to see if I was doing well or not. But it was not that I was learning all the time. I was going to take pieces of advice when I became lost.
Marcelo Bielsa, I remember.
Bielsa as well, because sometimes I was talking with the kids and the language was a little rude. So I said, "Is this me or is this the how they talk?" So in those cases, I went to see them and try to have a reference.
Yeah, cool. So how did you help him get into character?
Say that again.
That's right.
For Aaron, how did you help him to get into character?
Um, I didn't. I don't think he needed much help, from what I remember. I don't think. No, I think I just told him to rewrite his lines for them to be in Argentinian Spanish, in Argentinian slang, and that's what I mean by I got more religious. I mean, I found these people who I think him and Froilan, the guy who plays the main character. I think they developed a really nice relationship between actors, and I didn't need to help them much. It's like they came up with their own way of looking at the scene, and it tended to be much funnier than, and a lot of the times, much deeper than what I had imagined. Um, but a big complaint was I did a lot of takes with them all the time, a lot of takes. Um, but it wasn't because they were doing it bad. It was just because I was trying to push them to the limit. I think a big advantage was that I let everybody improvise like almost as much as they wanted, and I think that gave them a lot of freedom, and it made them. Well, that's part of why I did so many takes, because I was like, man, he said something like really really good, like key, that I would have never thought of on take 3. So maybe by the time we get to take 4, 5, 6, he's gonna say something even better, you know? So
Yeah.
yeah, but I don't think we had a process, or did we? Like getting you into character.
No, the beginning was not very easy, and the first day that we were introduced with the other guys, because they were expecting someone younger, and actually much younger. So their faces was in shock, and they said, and I realized that. So I said, you were expecting someone like 30 years old, right? Well, yes, but on the other side, the difference in ages show a distance and a respect. Like they were all the time playing, they were all the time hanging. But when I was over there, they were completely different. They tried to make to put a distance on that one, so it works in that way.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So Aaron, could you give our audience a little synopsis of the story?
So Archundia is a character who is super passionate about football. His whole life is soccer. I forget. This is going to America. Soccer. He's super passionate about soccer. Everything in his life is soccer. His room is covered with posters of Mexican, Argentinian, Hungarian soccer players. Um, as much as he is passionate about the sport, that's how pathetic he is playing it. He is simply incapable of controlling the ball, of basically executing or completing any maneuver successfully in football. And so his goal at this point, he's like 15 years old. His goal is to play in a game, not even to score a goal. No, no, no. He just wants to play because his coach, realizing how bad of a player he is, never lets him in. He has never let him in to play any game. And so after another game of just sitting on the bench, his coach tells him once again, he gives him a motivational speech of like, hey, if you just, it's a very generic speech where he just tells him like, if you put more effort into this, you're gonna get there. It's uh, it's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. Um, so yeah, he basically goes on this mission where he tries to prove his coach, his teammates, his family, because his family doesn't believe him in either. He's trying to prove everyone wrong, and uh, yeah.
So, great.
On one side, he's trying to prove, he's trying to do, he's trying, but the inside is that he knows that he is not down to do that one. I mean, that is not his goal, is what he tried to show. And actually, the coach is the one that realized deep inside that he is making an extremely effort, and actually it ending in being something completely different, because he followed the steps of his father. Actually, he was a boxer, and he was very good doing that one. But he had to realize that from himself, and he was trying to prove something all the time.
Okay, cool. So, uh, do you think that what do you want the audience to take away from this film? Is there a message to the film that the audience, do you want the audience to take away from this film?
Well, I think I think the story, well, the whole film was made a little selfishly in the sense that I really wanted to express something that I was feeling and that I felt I was going through. I felt like the story was an allegory. You use this word in English, right?
Yeah.
Or a metaphor. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I felt like this story was a metaphor to what I was going through in my life at the time. So honestly, I just wanted to express it. Um, to me, it's a story about letting go. Um, but I think the audience can watch it and they can interpret it any way they want. I think some people interpret it more cynically, others more, lightly. Um, you know, I think that's the magic of movies. You watch it and everyone gets whatever they want out of it. Yeah, what do you think?
Yes, I mean it leave it open to think whatever you want to think. I mean, some of them are going to think that he's doing his best. Some of them will think he shouldn't be there. But at the end, I mean, everyone is going to interpret it, or is going to think what they want.
Yeah. So,
Indeed.
so let me get back to the process of making the film.
Right.
How many actors did you see before you landed the lead role, the kid that played, and what was that process like?
So I saw maybe 20 something, 20, 30 kids, I think. But I don't know if it's completely fair to put it that way. because the way we did it wasn't. So it's not like we put out a description of this character, posted it on social media, and had people come in, and I saw 30 people. What happened was, as I said, we went to these high schools, and we were in a classroom, and we were like, anyone who wants to be a character in this short film can come along, and we'll see if you get the role or not. And so, along with Archunia, I was. They were reading for all the other characters who are in the same age range. So yeah, but I think I saw between. I don't want to confuse myself too much, but I think between 20 and 40 kids. Um, for the trainer, for the coach, it was different because there's no place where I don't know, coaches reunite where I can just select them. So I think I saw like 5 or 6 people before Jorge sent me the voice message, and I was like, "Nah, this is it." Yeah.
We are in a place that even if it is a city, it's a small. I could say that it's in the transition, being from a small town to a big city. So most of the people that are going to approach and see the announce and everything, they are like in a way of how can I say it? What is this about? What I can do? What I'm going to get in return? What I will? You have to explain. I mean, you cannot say you will be an extra. You have to explain what an extra will be, but with apples and the process is very very long because it's as I said, it's another mentality perhaps.
Yeah.
So what I'm gathering that this was a very organic sort of production where you met people and you feel that if this person is right for the role, you're going to use them. And it's not necessarily like professional actors in that part of Mexico where you guys are. So it's a much more organic feel to bringing the cast together. Am I correct?
Yes, yes. And another thing, very important thing, we did a bunch of rehearsals. In this room, actually, we did some of the rehearsals, I think. Um, and the rehearsals were really nice because, well, what ended up happening in the rehearsals was, I got this immense satisfaction of, oh, okay, it looks like the scenes are working with these actors. But, as a director, it was also like, it was like my final chance to decide, like, oh, if this actor really isn't cutting it, like, I still have time to, look for someone else. Um, and I think it sounds kind of, I feel bad, saying this out loud, but it's true. It's rehearsing was really helpful, not only for them to get to know each other, to build the essence of the film, but also for me to see, how well they work together.
Okay, so how long was the process in terms of filming production? Like I know we have pre-production, and so could you talk to us about your production, which is filming, and then your pre-production? I mean, not pre-production, but post-production when
Yeah.
it's done and you edit and the sound. What was that process like for you?
Yeah, it was a mess, honestly. I'm just gonna go out and say it was a mess. At the beginning, I thought I was being super, super organized, and then it kind of fell apart. Um, what, what happened was, I think we did 2 weeks, and the plan was to finish the whole shoot in 2 weeks. But we were shooting, I think, 7 or 8 hours a day. So not the industry standard, but you know, it was still exhausting, and we were shooting in July and August, like the hottest times of the year, and one of the hottest places in
But
America.
plus that you have to consider that all of us has different activities. The kids have to go to school, then they have to study. If you need the place where we are going to film and everything, you have to reserve that, and you have to reserve. But then the actors cannot go that particular day, so you have to look for another. It's perhaps it's not very easy, but I mean. It was now it was funny.
Yeah, now it's
Now
funny.
it's
Now it's
funny.
funny. Yeah. Yeah, at the time, I just tried to make everything work, and then there were insane things happening. Like, well, one of the most important scenes in the film is a football match, and it's a 6 minute scene, but it's a full match, condensed into its most important moments. Before filming, like before we started production, I didn't know who the kids were gonna be that are like the extras that play the 22 players in the soccer match. I didn't know who they were gonna be. So, but I was like, okay, we have to start shooting. So we started shooting, and then in the middle of the shooting days, like in the afternoons, I was organizing with the the owner of the, how do you say, canchas, of the football field where we were playing. And she was like, "Oh, don't worry. I know these parents, and they're gonna help us out." And then we arrived on the day of the shoot of this super important, super big scene. And, my actors are like 15, 16 years old. And I see these kids, and they're like 11, 13. I even saw a 9-year-old, I think. And it was like, okay, well, this is.
And besides that, some of them came with grandpa or with their father, and you're trying to make the scene, and you had to tell the grandpa, "Can you move from there?" But I mean, 2 minutes after, he will be in the middle of the he wants to see the. It was complicated but funny.
Yeah, it's funny now. But it was mad. Like I said, we shot like 7 or 8 hours a day. Um, so not industry standard, but it was just exhausting for us and for our level of experience and the conditions and everything. One of us even fainted. In one. That was one of the scariest days, I think, of my life, maybe, because fortunately he was over 18, so I wasn't super worried, but I was still worried for him, um, and we got him to the hospital, and then everything was fine. But I remember, like, the next day of shooting, we didn't shoot anything useful because everyone was like traumatized because we were like, okay, the, not we're like, this is actually dangerous. Like being on the sun in July in Vallarta, like that's actually a dangerous thing to do. So it's like we didn't shoot anything useful that day, and we had to give everyone a break. And we came back 2 weeks later, and then there were other locations that I didn't have, and then there were other super important like actors that I didn't have, and we had to figure those things out like after we started shooting. So it was a complete mess. Um, uh,
You just said this was your most challenging production compared to, like, say, the last film you did, which was Hidden, I think it was.
yeah,
Well, how would you compare the two? Because you're telling me all these stories that happened. The guy fainted. You have him taken to the hospital. You have the extras stand
yeah,
in front of the camera. I mean, it sounds like a really sort of community sort of production. But
yeah.
how would you compare it to your last in terms of production? Your last film compared to this one?
Well, I mean, it's completely different. I think after that production, well, the main thing I was really proud of when we made Hyde at the time was I managed to fake a recess at a middle school in Vallarta. And the reason I'm so proud of that is because I had like 10 extras in total, and there tends to be like hundreds of kids running around, like hundreds of kids. And somehow we managed to make it so that I put them in the positions where people wouldn't tell that, there were only 10 kids in the background. Um, and and so after doing that, I was like, nah, I'm capable of anything. Like I'm the best at this. I'm the biggest at this. At fucking 17 years old. So 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 I was like, uh, because no one that I talked with could tell in that short film that I used little extras. So I was like, okay, I want to make a bigger scene now. And so the football match, we had to fake, the amount of players that were actually in the field, and then we had to fake the amount of people that were watching the match, and we used a lot of sounds in there. We used a lot of things, and then, well, this was my first short film where there's many different scenes, many different locations. Um, it was just completely different. It was completely overwhelming. But I learned a lot from it. I learned a stupid amount of things, I think. So, yeah, I think that's what counts.
That's cool, man. So you said this was quite challenging, and you learned a lot.
Yeah.
Could you pinpoint one thing that you say you learned the most that would benefit you on your next say
Mm,
project?
I think uh main thing I learned was um hmm, to gather more people before the production. So to gather production assistant or even a producer, to have, a proper sound guy, not just someone holding the boom microphone, because that changes a lot. And I actually like the way the dialogue sound in this film. For the most part, I like the way it looks. I like the way things turned out mostly. Um, but what I mean in this sense is that it would have been a lot less stressful and things would have gone a lot smoother if I had worked with more people. There were days in this shoot where I was with I was with 20 extras. None of them had any experience in acting. I didn't have like my usual actors with me. It was just a scene with extras. Um, and so I was alone, like with the camera. I put one of them to carry the microphone. It was a mess, and it was super stressful. And I think for my next film, what I definitely want to do is to not feel, this loneliness in that, uh, I was editing it by myself as well. I was directing and being the director of photography simultaneously. Um, and there were no other, I don't want to call myself an expert, but there wasn't really anyone other than me who understood like cameras and composition and that stuff. So it was like, it's hard because you make all the creative decisions, and I don't think filmmaking is supposed to be that way.
It's definitely a collaborative
Yeah.
medium. But so what I'm hearing is that your limitations was money. And so, because you couldn't bring in a producer, you can bring in, to get your pre-production for money. Um, so what was it like to try to get a budget for this film? Could you discuss that? Was it really difficult, or this was just favors that you called in?
Oh, that that was one of the most stressful things as well, and Jorge helped out with that as well. Um, so a part of the budget was gathered. We did this raffle, I think it's called, where yeah, where through some friends, I managed to get some hotels and restaurants to help me out, and they would. So the prizes, there were 5 prizes in the raffle. All of it is on my Instagram, which I really like because you have evidence of all of this adventure. But basically, it was a restaurant, a hotel, and it was like a session of arts and crafts, and they donated to me like these services they had, and I was raffling them, and but it was an extra work to like market the tickets. So it was like I was doing the film, and then I was also making these videos, and I was making these videos like as attractive as possible and as well edited as possible, because not only did I want people to buy because, oh, look at the prizes, but because I knew like most people would buy because they want to help me. So I had to make the advertisements as filmic as possible, and so yeah, I got really overwhelmed. um, that was one part. And my mother, my father, they helped out, and really close friends of mine that are now family, Claudia Gastelum and Arturo Trujillo. They they work with my mom, but they helped with a lot of the budget. So I'm really grateful for them, and yeah, that's how it came together. It was a mishmash of everything. It wasn't super calculated, in Excel sheets. It was like the thing we spent most money on was food, and I don't regret that at all, because, and I think Jorge can agree with me. It was like whenever food arrived in the in the boiling hot, it was it lifted our mood up very
Oh,
much.
okay, that's cool. Would you say your raffle was a success?
Yes, yes, I would say so. We gathered a good amount of money. Honestly, we did, and also it was my first raffle, so it's like, whatever you, it's like, well, anything would have been a success. But we actually did gather a good amount of money, and it was very useful for the film.
Okay, cool. Now that the film is done, have you sent it off to any film festivals yet?
That's what we're working on. And Jorge is actually scolding me. He's looking at me. Right. um, he's pressuring me with his look right now. Because yes, we're working on sending it to film festivals. We had some screenings here in Vallarta and in Budapest. Very successful screenings, honestly. But yeah, we're just about to send it to all these beautiful film festivals, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. Jorge, question for you. Do you have your ticket ready to fly to Hollywood? Are you inspired to become an actor and you want to move to Hollywood and see what happens?
No entendí.
Que si te quieres mudar a Hollywood ahorita y hacer actor.
For sure. Why not? I mean, well, I don't know if I want to go to Hollywood, but I came back from Argentina, and the first things that I was telling Aaron was, when are we going to do the next one? Because it's something that is like, you want to continue, you want to grow, you want to do better than the first one, because you were there. Well, he's the one that know the history, have to do that. But I mean, for my age, I can see the things in another way. So I I can see what we need for the next one, what we have to achieve before is starting with that one, so we can do that better, or he can do that better. And I'm looking for the next one without any doubt. Yes.
So you want to continue, you have the acting bug. You want to continue acting.
If I have the chance to have a part of, yes, for sure. I mean, I enjoy it very much.
Okay, one quick question for you. What character would you love to play? What kind of character will make your dreams come true if you had a chance to play?
Um, what kind of character in the next one?
No, just in general, as a let's say as an actor, like I wanted to be a pirate,
Um,
or a cowboy.
everything
What would be
everything
your
that is
favorite?
related everything that is related with a Grinch. I mean, I consider that my way of being is very strong. It's very teaching, is very um, putting limits, and it's very conducting. So there is no one in that I can say this one is the one that I could like to do. But if I can think on that, maybe someone older than me, which could be, there are people older than me, someone older than me trying to tell his life back. I mean, trying to make a story of his own life, but being not my age, a little older. But I don't know if I express myself.
Yes, yes, I got it. Like a flashback type of story where the guys
like memories, flashback, something like that.
Yeah. Okay, Aaron. So, what do you hope um, after this film? Do you have something in mind? What is the purpose, and what do you want to accomplish now that the film is done? And what do you hope to get from it?
Well, I hope to I hope to be able to go to film festivals where I can share this film. I mean, um, yeah, where I can talk with people about the film. You know, I think it's been one of the greatest joys to just screen it, and then I can just. I don't like to shut my mouth. I like to keep talking usually. So it's been one of the most joyous parts of the process is just finishing it and then have people watch it and then see what they think and then tell them what I was thinking and then just keep talking about it. So I hope to get invited to film festivals where we can talk about the film, where I can share my thoughts with other filmmakers, where I can honestly get more contacts, get more people who are truly passionate about the craft, learn from them, um, and yeah, that's basically it. I really hope the movie keeps having an emotional impact on people. I believe it already has, from what I've seen, but I want that to keep happening to more people. You know,
All right, cool.
yeah.
Cool. All right, gentlemen, I want to thank you for coming on the show. We learned a lot about your movie. Give us the title, time.
Tronco, tree trunk in English.
Okay, cool. We're looking forward to that. I want to thank you for coming on the show. I truly appreciate it. I'll be looking forward to seeing from you guys. And thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for inviting us, Charles. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Very much for the chance.
All right. Oh, by the way, guys, do you want to share any of your social with my audience? Like your
Of
show?
course,
Yeah.
of course, naturally, yes. So mine is Áron, so ARON dot Kostyál, so ARON dot KOSTYAL. It's it's a Hungarian name. That's why it's so complicated. But that's my Instagram. And my YouTube is Quicha Films with a C.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Wait, and Jorge.
Okay.
That all related with that one is on yours, but I mean it's okay with that one. Thank you very much.
Okay.
For the chance.
Thank you, Charles.
All right,
Hugs.
guys. All right.
Take
See you
care.
guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. Please like,